How's everyone doing? It's Indiana here with Emptoraudio. Well, today we're taking a look at the Edifier S1000W bookshelf speakers. Well, they're called the Wi-Fi Hi-Fi bookshelf speakers. They kind of add in a few other names there, which is kind of fun. Now, Edifier is pretty well known for making bookshelf speakers. You see the name Edifier, I think right away of bookshelf speakers. I've known them for making speakers for years and years now. I've probably owned at least 6 to 8 pairs of their speakers just over the years, buying new speakers, trying them out, see how well they sound. And what's cool about this pair of speakers here is they're kind of aiming for like a real nice flagship pair of speakers here. And I've actually got these sitting on my desk. Now, before you're like, oh, these aren't desktop speakers, Edifier actually has multiple photos on their website of these speakers being on, a desktop. So that's where I've got mine set up for right now. But they're really more designed as like a bookshelf speaker for a much larger space. Of course, you can use them as near-field monitors. They don't really perform to their full potential on your desktop, though they're not really designed as near-field monitors. Now, they got 120 watt of power output. They've got a 5.5-inch mid-range bass driver, and then, of course, a 1-inch tweeter there. When I got these in, though, I was really surprised by how big and heavy they are. They've got a lot of mass to them, they've got a lot of size to them. They really are, quite impending speaker there. They've got a lot of just, size to them and just, overall just look to them, which is really cool. Now, I will say, these speakers are comparable to things like if you bought just a pair of passive bookshelf speakers, you bought an amp, you bought, say, something to add in Bluetooth connectivity there, if maybe your amp has it, maybe it doesn't, you'd be looking right around the same price, that $450 price point. Now, are these a great solution for going separate? Well, honestly, for how well they sound, I think, yeah, I definitely like how well they sound. Very balanced. They have some EQ adjustments, which is nice. You can make some, I really just kind of left them at about noon on both of them, just, dial straight up. And I was overall pretty happy with how they sound. Really no complaints there. The few things I have with Edifier that I don't like are, of course, that proprietary cable that runs from your left speaker to your right speaker. Never really been a fan of that at all. Just give me like a regular speaker cable there. Something I can upgrade myself. If it gets damaged, it gets lost, I don't have to contact Edifier to, of course, find a new one. I can just, make a new speaker cable. It's not a big deal. So I've never really been a fan of that. Also, the remote that is included is pretty cool. However, though, I do like Edifier's, thing of having a volume control always on the side of their speakers. There is no volume control on the speaker, so I basically just got this remote sitting right in front of the speaker, and that is how I adjust the volume there, kind of up and down. Not a big deal. If you're using them as real bookshelf speakers, maybe on stands or near your TV, of course, having volume control on the speakers is not really a big deal. But it would be a nice little touch to have maybe on top of the speakers, to the side. That'd be really nice to see, so you don't have to actually pull out your remote or something to change the volume there. There is, of course, no physical buttons on the front or sides. They're all on the back of that one main speaker. So that's kind of just my only complaints with the speakers, is just those two minor things, the proprietary cable and having no volume control on the sides or the front or the top of the speaker. That's what I'd really like to see. Of course, having some type of physical control there, being able to control the volume there. Other than that, though, honestly, they are definitely worth the money. At $450, I would say, if they go on sale, definitely pick them up for that deal. They drop down to $350, $399. Definitely well worth the purchase there. Now, I can't really recommend them for desktop use unless you have a massive desktop to put them on. Just because, of course, my desktop right here is not too big. It's not really, small by any means either, but they do, take up a lot of space, a lot more space than you really think they do take up. And they do have a bit of an orientation of pointing up a little bit too, so you got to give them a little bit of space from where they're pointing at you right now, right where kind of they're pointed at you. Mine are about 1.5 feet from my listening space, and that's definitely way too close. Now, of course, I set them up for a little bit more space, kind of, back to my room a little bit, listen to them that way as well, too. And I think they just sound absolutely phenomenal. They do put out a lot more bass than you think they will. So they offer, a lot more just overall full sound, full range than a lot of other speakers you're going to hear that you can, of course, buy on Amazon. And, if you're mixing and matching amps and different passive speakers, you're going to have a pretty mixed bag there unless you really pick some stuff that really meshes well together. That's the cool thing about these all-in-one, powered speakers is the amplifier, the preamplifier in there. Everything just sounds really, really good. Of course, you can add in a separate DAC for these. You don't have to use anything onboard if you don't want to. I'm just using the line in from the back of my computer and my onboard DAC for this review. And I'm really not noticing anything too crazy that doesn't sound great. So, at the end of the day, these speakers are just phenomenal for what they are. Yeah, they're big and they're bulky, but that's to be expected, of course, of this level of speaker. If they were too small at this price point, I would definitely not be so, on board with that. But they have got a really nice sound to them. They are very solid speakers, very well built speakers. I think the remote is definitely really cool, really unique in this design. It definitely feels quality. It doesn't feel light or cheap or anything. It feels like you are actually paying for a pair of $450 speakers. You're definitely getting your money's worth. So honestly, Edifier, if they would fix the proprietary speaker cable a bit there, give me, some option here for having some volume control on the front or the side. They do a really good job on some of their, lower end speakers of hiding the controls just kind of on the right side there, that speaker. I absolutely love that. Works absolutely phenomenal. So I think they really hit the nail on the head with this pair of speakers here. The S1000Ws are overall just a phenomenal choice for picking up a nice higher end pair of speakers, but you're not paying, $1,000 plus for these speakers. Because of course, the sky's the limit for these powered speakers. You can spend tons and tons of money on these things, but at the end of the day, do you really have to get good sound? Of course not, no. So honestly, guys, I recommend them. I'd say definitely check them out on Amazon and their own website. They do a really good job of just sounding really good for the money. I really can't pick out anything I don't like from the highs, the mids, or the lows. They just have a really nice, balanced, full range sound, and I think they're overall phenomenal for what you're paying for. So guys, thanks for checking out my review. If you got any questions, comments, leave them in the comments below. Happy to read those and respond. And take care, have a great day, and stay safe out there.